Hello, I'm David Buckley, pianist and leader with the Mile High Jazz Band. I'm here to present a video that we are calling Virtual Jazz and Poetry, Running Out. On March 10th, 2020, the band did a live jazz and poetry event at Comic Coffee on the theme Fate and Fortune. Little did we know that 5 days later, the band's own fate was to be put in a lockdown for an undetermined period. Rita Guile, the band's poet wrangler, and I decided to have a virtual jazz and poetry in lieu of the next scheduled jazz and poetry event. We selected the theme, Running Out. Several poets wrote or selected appropriate poems, and band members recorded tunes related to the poems. The result of these efforts is a video in 6 short acts, each consisting of a reading of the poem and the performance of a related piece of music. We hope you enjoy Virtual Jazz and Poetry, Running Out.
Welcome to Virtual Jazz and Poetry. My name is Susan Sarah Priest, and I'm really excited that for this June 2020 version of Jazz and Poetry, I've been invited to read a poem by my father, Robert Priest. He passed away about 5 years ago around this time of year, so it's very meaningful to participate in this with one of his poems. The title of his poem is Getting Lucky. Getting Lucky. I snuggle up to Miss Prissy, Miss Responsibility, with her red pen keeping track of expenses in her notebook on the couch. My head now intrudes on her lap. Wag my tail for just a wee bit of fond fur mussing. After a decent interval, while she's stroking, I put my mouth on the soft blue fabric of her blouse. Now, we'll have none of that, she says, as if we were once again in her college dorm instead of married folks, and me romantic, as if dancing naked in the candlelit great room, I were to ask, what's a nice Methodist girl like you doing in a place like this?
Birds do it, bees do it, even educated fleas do it. Let's do it, let's fall in love. In Spain the best upper sets do it, Lithuanians, and let's do it, let's do it, let's fall in love. The Dutch in old Amsterdam do it, not to mention the Finns. Folks in Siam do it, think of Siamese twins, some Argentines without means do it. People say in Boston even beans do it. Let's do it, let's fall in love. Romantic sponges, they say do it. Oysters down in Oyster Bay do it. Let's do it, let's fall in love. Cold Cape Cod clams against their wish do it. see jellyfish do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. Electric eels, I might add to it. Though it shocks them, I know. Why ask if shad do it? Way to bring me shad row in shallow shoals. English souls do it. Goldfish in the privacy of bowls do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. Yeah.
Safer at home and running out. Pandemic declared, we shelter in place, like rats in our own maze, hiding and hoping we'll have enough. But we're running out of toilet paper, foods we crave, cash we saved, patience, and worst of all, we're running out of things to occupy time, books to read, games to play, space to store what we hoard, and worst of all, we're running out of options. Words to say, but not love, nor peace, nor safety, nor those we love. But worst of all, wine.
Among the Intellectuals by Tony Hoagland. They were a restless tribe. They did not sit in sunlight, eating grapes together in the afternoon. Cloud watching among them was considered a disgusting waste of time. They passed the days in an activity they called thought-provoking, as if thought were an animal, and they used long sticks to poke through the bars of its cage, tormenting and arousing thinking into strange behaviors. This was their religion, that and the sunlight shining through the stained glass ancestors. They preferred the name of the tree to the taste of the apple. I was young and wanted to prove myself. By the words I learned from them transmuted me. By the time I noticed, the change had already occurred. It is impossible to say if this were bad. Inevitably, you find that you are lost, really lost. Blind, really blind. Stupid, really stupid. Dry, really dry. Hungry, really hungry. And you go on from there. But then you also find you can't stop thinking, tormenting and talking to yourself.
This is a poem by Naomi Shiabnai called Telling the Story. In America, what's real juggles with what isn't. A woman I know props fabulous tulips in her flower bed in snow. Well, the streets aren't gold, but they could be. A traveler once mailed letters in a trash can for a week. He thought they were going somewhere. Well, in America, everything is going somewhere. I answered a telephone on a California street. Hello? It was possible. A voice said, "There is no scientific proof that God is a man." Thank you. I was standing there. Was this meant for me? It was not exactly the question I had been asking, but it kept me busy a while, telling the story. Some start with a big story that shrinks. Some stories accumulate power, like a sky gathering clouds, quietly, quietly, and then the story rains around you. Some get tired of telling the same story, and they quit speaking. A farmer leaning into his row of potatoes, a mother walking the same child to school. What will we learn today? There should be an answer, and it should change.
I'm gonna sit right down and write myself a letter and make believe it came from you. I'm gonna write words so sweet, they're gonna knock me off my feet. A lot of kisses on the bottom, I'll be glad I got 'em. I'm gonna smile and say I hope you're feeling better, and close with love the way that you do. I'm gonna sit right down and write myself a letter and make believe it came from you.
A Blessing by James Wright. Twilight bounds softly forth on the grass, and the eyes of those two Indian ponies darken with kindness. They have come gladly out of the willows to welcome my friend and me. We step over the barbed wire into the pasture where they have been grazing all day, alone. They ripple tensely. They can hardly contain their happiness that we have come. They bow shyly as wet swans. They love each other. There is no loneliness like theirs. At home once more, they begin munching the young tufts of spring in the darkness. I would like to hold the slenderer one in my arms, for she has walked over to me and nuzzled my left hand. She is black and white, her mane falls wild on her forehead, and the light breeze moves me to caress her long ear, delicate as the skin over a girl's wrist. Suddenly, I realize if I stepped out of my body, I would break into blossom.
Hello, I'm David Bugley, and we are going to read Little Word, Little White Bird by Carl Sandburg.
Love, is it a cat with claws and a wild mate scream in the black of the night? Love, is it a bird, a goldfinch with a burnish on its wingtips, or a little gray sparrow picking crumbs, hunting crumbs? Love, is it a tug at the heart that comes high and costs, always costs, as long as you have it? Love, is it a free, glad spender ready to spend to the limit and then go head over heels in debt? Love, can it hit one without hitting two and leave one lost and groping? Love, can you pick it up like a mouse, put it in your pocket, take it to your room, bring it out of your pocket and say, oh, here is my love, my little pretty mousy love?
Yes, love, this little word you hear about. Is love an elephant and you step out of the way, where the elephant comes trampling, tromping, traveling with big feet and long flaps of drooping ears and straight white ivory tusks? And you step out of the way with respect, with high respect and surprised and near shock as you say, dear God, he's big, big like stupendous is big, heavy and elephantine and funny, immense and slow and easy. I'm asking, Is love an elephant?
Or could it be love is a snake, like a rattlesnake, like a creeping, winding, slithering rattlesnake with fangs, poison fangs, they tell me. And when the bite of it gets you, then you run crying for help if you don't fall cold and dead on the way. Can love be a snake?
Or would you say love is a flamingo with pink feathers, a soft sunset pink, a sweet, gleaming, naked pink? And with enough long pink feathers, you could make the fan for a fan dance. And hear a girl telling her lover, "Speak, my chosen one, and give me your wish as to what manner of fan dance you would have from me in the cool of evening or the black velvet sheen of midnight." Could it be love is a flamingo?
Or is love a big red apple and you don't know whether to bite into it? And you knock on wood and call off your luck numbers and hold your breath. And you put your teeth into it and get a mouthful, tasting all there is to it. And whether it's sweet and wild or a dry mush you want to spit out, it's something else than you expected. I'm asking, sir, is love a big red apple?
Or maybe love is gopher dust. I hadn't thought about that. For you go to the gopher tree at midnight and gather the leaves and crush them into fine dust. Very fine dust, sir. And when your man sleeps, you sprinkle it in his shoes and he's helpless. And from then on, he can't get away from you. He's snarled and tangled and can't keep from loving you. Could gopher dust be the answer?
Love is a little white bird. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you my candidate, the little white bird you can't see, though you can hear its hush song, so lovely it hurts and cuts into your heart. And what you want is to give more than you can get. And you'd like to write it, but it can't be written. You'd like to sing it, but you don't dare try. And when you hear that hush song, it's love. I give you the little white bird and my thanks for your hearing me and my prayers for you, my deep, silent prayers.
Never know how much I love you. Never know how much I can. When you put your arms around me, I get a fever that's so hard to bear. You give me fever. When you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight. Fever in the morning, fever all through the night. Sun lights up the daytime, moon lights up the night. I light up when you call my name, and you know I'm gonna treat you right. You give me fever. When you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight. Fever in the morning, fever all through the night. Everybody's got the fever. That is something you all know. Fever isn't such a new thing. Fever started long ago. Captain Smith and Pocahontas had a very mad affair. When her daddy tried to kill him, she said, "Daddy, oh, don't you dare, it gives me fever." With his kisses, fever when he holds me tight. Fever, I'm his missus. Daddy, won't you treat him right? Now you've listened to my story. Here's the point that I have made. Chicks were born to give you fever, be it Fahrenheit or centigrade, they give you fever. When you kiss them, fever if you live and learn. Fever till you sizzle.